Construction equipment, we are amongst top few. And powertrain, of course, cut across. We use in-house as well as for others. In terms of revenue, agricultural and construction constitute about 50% of the group turnover, which is 16 billion, followed by truck about 8 billion euro and powertrain 3 billion. Total plants, if we focus on Europe, is 33 plants, and North America 11 plants, Latin America, which is Brazil and Argentina, 10 plants, and Asia Pacific 8 plants. And the product which we are manufacturing and which will be coming to Bangladesh will be produced in India. In addition to that, there are a lot of equipments which are produced in Latin America and US and which are more value rich and more giant and more featured are being imported today, and for Bangladesh also they can be imported. Talking about Case Construction, as I said, it's a 170-year-old legacy, and if we go through it, there are a lot of things to talk about it, how the things evolved, how the brand evolved, and how the product got refined. A lot of rewards and awards in terms of whatever hard work has been done and appreciated by the consumer community. The users are generally business-oriented projects, and these are the piece of equipments which are quite sophisticated, because what in US and Europe is launched is high-featured with microprocessor controlled with a lot of other features at a higher horsepower are running very successfully. In terms of dealerships, if we see in Asia Pacific, we have 136 dealers, and ACI assumes its place in this dealership network, which is going to be 137th, I assume, Anish. And similarly, we have construction dealers in Europe, 120, and NAFTA and Latin America 3998. So as you can see, Asia Pacific, which is our headquarters in Switzerland, and we have various hubs of basically APEC, which is in Moscow, China, India, Turkey, Southeast Asia, Singapore, and we have collaboration and joint venture partnership in terms of technologies with some of the Japanese companies, some of the European companies, and majority of the products are engineered by ourselves. This shows the various plants of construction, which is in US, in Burlington, Wichita, Fargo. We have plants in Lecce in Italy. We have plant in France, Germany, and then we have the plant in Pithampur, which is the construction plant where this product is being produced. From Pithampur plant, we are also started exports to almost 22 countries. Right now to South Africa, Middle East, and Southeast Asia, Russia, and later on we will go on to other countries. In terms of commercial hubs, as I talked about, Moscow and Ankara, Turkey, and Bangkok, Shanghai, Singapore are all very closely knit. We are distributing products, selectively choosing which market needs what, and at the timing and the requirements, both from application and cost point of view. So if you see, the product lineup is complete in terms of whatever is the need for construction equipment requirements in the industry. For the infrastructure, whether it is river linking, whether it is earthwork, small towns, smart towns, railways, water, bridges, highways, road construction, flyovers, metro work, railway work, anything and everything, probably have a solution. And this is all I have to share. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights on Case Construction equipments. Now, I would like to request Mr. Mohammad Wahidur Rahman, Chief Engineer, Local Government Engineering Division, to enlighten us with his worthy speech. Mr. Mohammad Wahidur Rahman, please.
Good evening, Assalamu alaikum. Honorable Chief Guest, His Excellency, the Ambassador of India to Bangladesh, Chairman ACI, and other special guests from ACI and Case Construction, let me take this privilege to express my gratitude to the host to invite me here as a special guest to be here with all of us. So that having the facilities for backup service facilities as well as for the spare parts, like the Toyota company. Everyone likes Toyota car because they have the backup facilities as well as they have the availability of the spare parts. So if you initially maybe it is a problem to get the supply order or from private and the public company, but if you continue, you can capture the market, and then that will facilitate the public sector even, and still then. In Bangladesh also, we always prefer the European company as well as the Japanese equipments because of their durability, longevity, and the quality of the equipments. But in the competitive market, the Indian company and the Chinese company, they are providing a very low rate, compromising the quality of the equipments. That is one of the major problems also in our country. So in this occasion, I like to request them to ensure the quality as well as the reasonable cost. And to get the job, I think the quality should not be compromised anyhow, because this is a big job, big loss for the government as well. And again, with these powers, I hope they will successfully capture the market. They have a big marketing facilities in Bangladesh. Thank you.
Now I would like to request our chief guest, His Excellency Mr. Pankaj Sharan, the High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, to deliver his valuable speech. His Excellency Mr. Pankaj Sharan, please.
Good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Arif Daula, the Managing Director of ACI Limited, Mr. Abhijit Gupta, Managing Director of Case Construction India, Engineer Mohammad Wahidur Rahman, Chief Engineer of the LGED, Mr. Ajay Janeja, and of course, Mr. Anis Uddaula, the Chairman of the ACI Group, and Dr. F.H. Ansare, the Executive Director of ACI Limited. Let me begin by thanking you all for inviting me here today at this very special function on the occasion of the launch and the inaugural of the case construction equipment in Bangladesh. I thought I would just make a few points on this occasion which might be relevant for this evening. I think it is no secret that both India and Bangladesh are effectively infrastructure deficit countries. Someone used this term, and I think it's an accurate description of where we are today. That apart from the fact that we are both growing and developing countries, we are also deficit in infrastructure, and which means that infrastructure is, in both our countries, a primary focus of government policy. And as the Honorable Engineer, Chief Engineer said, government outlays in Bangladesh for the construction sector are huge, are very large. And this is true in India also. And if we have to meet the needs of our people and the needs of our economy, there is no other option but to focus on rapid improvement of infrastructure. And naturally, when you talk of infrastructure, you have to ensure that we have adequate equipment, particularly in the area of construction. And I think in this context, the entry of case construction into Bangladesh should be a welcome development. We have just heard the international quality of case and the fact that they are located in India and that the Indian manufacturing facility will contribute to and will provide for the equipment in Bangladesh is, of course, something which has many advantages. I think the fact that ACI Group in Bangladesh has developed a very, very well-deserved reputation for its professionalism and for its high quality control is another plus point. So we have a very happy marriage of two reputed companies coming together and driving this very important activity forward. And to my mind, I think the growth of ACI Bangladesh over the last many years is something which the corporate world of Bangladesh and the entrepreneurs of Bangladesh should be proud of, that they have managed to create a great brand image, a great brand, and a reputation for very high levels of competence. And therefore, I have no doubt that the combination of CASE and ACI will be very, very successful. So on the one hand, we have the deficit of infrastructure, and then we see how two very, very well-regarded, well-reputed corporate entities have come together, who have understood the market well, who have understood government policies and priorities well, and have come together to actually capitalize and exploit this demand in Bangladesh. So therefore, naturally, I would use this opportunity to wish them both well, and I am confident that their joint enterprise will be successful. Of course, at a larger level, the point I think which we need to understand and to appreciate is that when companies like these come together, and these companies are based in neighboring countries, they can actually drive economic change in both our countries. For India, of course, their Bangladesh operations for CASE are important. But what I would take away from this decision or this corporate decision is two things. Number one, that the best decisions in today's day and age are actually taken by the private sector. And they sense the opportunity and they drive the change. And therefore, I think it's important for government to allow and to create the environment in which the private sector and investors feel confident that they can invest, and that they feel confident that their investments will be safe, that there will be a transparent and a stable regulatory framework, and that in the process of this, they can contribute to national wealth and to national output through the creation of jobs and through other kinds of value addition. And the second point is that I think increasingly, if you look at it from the India-Bangladesh perspective, and that's a larger perspective, I think joint ventures, joint collaborations between Indian and Bangladeshi companies is today, I think, the way forward. I think governments have to create the environment, but it is private companies and private entities, and even, I would say, public sector entities which can make full use of this environment and then work together with each other, both in India and in Bangladesh, and take the best of both worlds, harness the competitive advantage, and create wealth not only for themselves but for the larger society. So joint ventures as a route of economic cooperation and of a trade and an investment relationship that is beneficial to both countries, I think, is an extremely important method of. India and Bangladesh are, of course, very old trading partners. And we have been trading with each other for decades. India recognizes that the trade between India and Bangladesh is imbalanced, and we are sensitive to the concerns of Bangladesh with regard to the imbalance. And we are committed to working very closely with the government of Bangladesh to find ways and means in which we can reduce the imbalance, in which we can encourage and facilitate greater exports from Bangladesh into India, and take other measures necessary so that there is an equal partnership between the two countries. And it was part of this policy that in the year 2011, India decided